Tennessee state lawmakers are looking to reject more than $1 billion federal dollars in their K through 12 schools and replace it instead with state funds. Our next guest says the move is part of the state's fight for educational freedom. Cameron Sexton is the Tennessee House Speaker, and he joins us now. Mr. Speaker, thanks for being here. Share with our viewers, what would it mean to reject federal dollars in education? What would allow the state of Tennessee to do?
Well, the state of Tennessee is very financially secure and positioned well to start looking at the federal dollars that are coming in and the impact they have, or positive or negatively. And we think that there's a lot of dollars coming in that requires different regulations and restrictions that limits our ability to have more freedom to educate our children more the Tennessee way than the federal way. And so we want to take a look at it. We think we have the funding. We know we have the funding to replace that $1 billion. And then tell the federal government that they can keep their debt that they're sending to us because they're not sending revenue, and then we'll do it ourselves.
Interesting. And what types of things would it allow Tennessee to do that federal dollars and the strings that come with it you're not allowed to do right now?
Yeah, so I mean, even in Kentucky, and I think Illinois are two states recently that have tried to change some education standards, and the federal government's told them they'll withhold funding if they try to change from the federal standards. We also learned that the federal government, through rules, what they try to do is they send you the money and then they have you change your state rules, or they'll withhold the funding. So it looks like it's state that's imposing all this stuff when it's really the federal government dictating what the rules are.
So does this include things like curriculum standards, the types of things that have trickled down from Washington that, have made their way into our schools that we report on all the time here? Does it just give Tennessee the ability to say, we're going to do things differently?
It does, because what they do is when we propose legislation during session, it always comes back and says, well, the federal government could withhold $1.1 billion. They use that as the stick to not allow the states to make changes to the federal standards as to what you want to do. For example, in the school lunch program, it's about $430 million. We're not going to cut school lunches. We're going to continue to provide school lunches for free and reduced. But what we learned in these committee hearings this week is there's a minimum of 20% waste. Well, that's over $80 million of waste that's going out the window that we could be sending food home with kids, or doing something a little bit different and not having that much waste.
I love this idea, Mr. Speaker. I hope you've got the political capital and the courage of colleagues to advance it, because there's going to be a lot of critiques coming your way that you want to cut education, you're going to get rid of services. Where does that, I believe it's $1 billion or $1 billion that you need to find. Where are you going to find that from in Tennessee?
Well, what we've done over the last 13 years under Republican leadership with majorities in our state is the economy has grown. We continue to grow, and instead of using our revenue as recurring money, we use it as one time. Every year it builds up. We have about $2 billion in recurring funding still, even in today's economy. So we're going to be cautious, but we also have a lot of one-time money. But it really comes down to, Pete, your philosophy. Should education be funded by the state and dictated by the state and provided by the state, or are you going to allow the federal government to provide like 9% of your budget and then dictate to you what you do every single day in the classroom?
That is exactly right. And I think it opens up the space for educational freedom initiatives that only give Tennessee parents more options, which is exactly what's needed right now, considering the crisis in federal education. Speaker Cameron Sexton, thanks for coming on and what you're doing.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.